Business ethics tells us an entity yeah. An entity. That's not over there, yeah. An entity greatest responsibility. Greatest respon responsibility lies lies in the satisfaction in the satisfaction of the shareholders. This is very of business ethics. Welcome to Dr. P.C. Verma Economist YouTube class for UPSC students, RBIS students, and civil services students. We all know that share is the basis of development of the economy from developing to developed country. Large amount of investment is in share market. And you know, every day, every minute, there is revealing of the facts that what is the price of the shares of different markets. If you open any Facebook, you will see great capitalist speaking that I have launched such technique through which you can convert your 21,000 into several lakhs through the investment in share markets. We all know that there is a risk in share market because share market is very much sentimental towards the development in the political economics. If there is a disturbance in the country, if there is a misfit economy in your economy run by pirates, gangsters, and through the gray markets, and this will have bad effects upon bad markets. And therefore, everyone every day watch the share prices. There are many institutions which are teaching new investors about the share prices when you buy and when you sell. In share market, only two functions. Whether you will buy your share, you will buy share for you, or you will sell your old shares. This depends upon the fluctuations in the prices of share market. The main problem is volatility in the price. If volatility in the price of shares is very, very severe, repeatedly happening in the economy, this will lead to crash. We all know 2008 crash. We all know that recently, last year also, Hindenburg report has led to crash. But this time Hindenburg report is rejected by the investors, especially in Indian economy, because at that time they forecast that LIC will be bankrupt, SBI will be bankrupt. Such type of their saying was not true. That was politically motivated. And therefore this year, again Hindenburg has come, and this does not lead to any influence upon the intelligent investors. So business ethics tell us an entity's great responsibility lies in the satisfaction of the shareholders. This is the theory of business ethics. Today, we are discussing Milton Friedman doctrine. That doctrine is related to shareholder theory. We all know that Milton Friedman is a winner of Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences in 1976. Milton Friedman has great contribution in macroeconomics, financial economics, in microeconomics, and therefore wide range studies, his studies and his knowledge are beneficial to the students. Everywhere, in any answer, you will find out conclusion through Milton Friedman doctrine, through Milton Friedman theory, through Milton Friedman demand for money. In almost all aspects of the macroeconomics, international trade, you will find out the contribution of Milton Friedman doctrine. So, what business ethics tells us? An entity's greatest responsibility lies in the satisfaction of the shareholders. Satisfaction of the shareholder, that is the main thing which is discussed under theory of business ethics. In that connection, this shareholder theory was developed by Milton Friedman, which we are discussing today. The Friedman doctrine is also referred referred to as the shareholder theory. American economist American economist and Nobel Prize winner economist The Milton Friedman doctrine is also referred to as the shareholder theory. American economist and Nobel Prize winner economist Milton Friedman developed the doctrine as a theory of business ethics. Milton Friedman says that the business should always endeavor to maximize its revenues to increase returns for the shareholders. Friedman believes that the shareholders form the backbone of the entity. Form the backbone of the entity. Backbone of the entity. And they should be treated. And they should be treated with the utmost respect. Should be treated with the utmost respect. Utmost respect. Profit maximization requires the entity requires the entity to find ways to find ways of generating additional revenues additional revenues additional revenues through additional revenue through addition through addition and creating more products more products and services while minimizing cost. While minimizing costs. While minimizing cost. Milton Friedman, also stated that shareholders that shareholders should be in charge of key decisions such as social initiatives social initiatives rather than getting an outsider to make the decision to make the decision to make decision of their decision on decision on their behalf, on their behalf. Background of the Friedman doctrine. Background of the Friedman doctrine. The Friedman doctrine first appeared in the New York Times. New York Times. In 1970. In 1970, as an essay, by Milton, Friedman. In the essay, the economist explained that an entity does not have any social responsibility, does not have any social responsibility to the society, around it. What? So, whatsoever. Instead, instead, he has stated that instead he has stated that the only responsibility only responsibility that an entity that an entity should abide should abide by its should abide by its shareholders. Its shareholders. Milton Friedman justified justified his claim his claim by explaining that that any executives in business Any executive in business are employees. Are employees. Implied of the owners. Of the owners. And they are. And they are. Therefore, therefore, required required to deliver required to deliver required to deliver required to deliver quality service to the employer. Required to deliver quality service. Required to deliver quality service to the employer. Quality service to the employer. First, before before any other party. First before any other party. Individuals employed incorporate entities are required to conduct their roles in the business in the in the business according to according to rules, business according to the expectation, according to the expectations expectations of the employer, of the employer. What is social responsibility? What is social responsibility? Respond what is the social responsibility? What is social responsibility? The Friedman, Friedman Doctrine the Friedman Doctrine holds that holds that decisions decisions concerning social responsibility, social respon responsibility rest on the soldiers' shoulders, rest on the shoulders of the shareholders, not the executive, not the executives of the company, of the company, executive of the company. He argued Friedman argued Friedman argues that an entity is not obliged to any social responsibilities social responsibilities unless the shareholders unless unless the unless the shareholders decide to such an effort to such an effort, decide to such an effect. Friedman argued that an entity is not obliged to any social responsibility unless the holders decide to such an effect. Any social responsibility responsibilities any social responsibilities to the society require resources resources require resources. Resources. And should, therefore, therefore, be arranged, be arranged, before be arranged, before they arranged, before they are executed, before they are executed. The use of a company resources, the use of company's resources is is subject to approval subject to approval by the shareholder, by the shareholder, by the shareholders, who are the final decision, who are the final, decision, who are the final decision makers on important decision, on important decisions, such as such as the development, such as the development such as decision makers on important decision, such as the development of such as such as the use of financial resources. Financial resources. Social responsibility activities such as such as such as the development, such as the development of social amenities, social amenities for the commodity, for the social amenities for the community are capital intensive, are capital intensive, and will affect the financial resources and will affect the financial resources. On the entity of the entity of the entity Friedman insisted that such responsibilities, such respon responsibilities should not be forced, should not be forced on the company. On the company. And the final decision and the final decision, on whether or not to carry them out depends on the shareholders. Thus, we come to the conclusion that Friedman doctrine is shareholder theory. Business ethics theory tells us that an entity's greatest responsibility lies in the satisfaction of the shareholders. Friedman doctrine is also referred to as shareholder theory. American economist Milton Friedman developed the doctrine as a theory of business ethics. Milton Friedman says that the business should always endeavor to maximize its revenue to increase the returns of the shareholders. Friedman believes that the shareholders form the backbone of the entity and they should be treated with the utmost respect. Profit maximization requires the entity to find ways of generating additional revenue through value addition and creating more products and services while maximizing cost. Milton Friedman also stated that the shareholder should be in charge of key decisions such as social initiatives rather than getting an outsider to make the decision on their behalf. The background of the Milton Friedman doctrine is very important. The Friedman doctrine first appeared in the New York Times in 1970 as an essay by Milton Friedman. In that essay, economist Milton Friedman explained that an entity does not have any social responsibility to the society around it whatsoever. Instead, he stated that the only responsibility that an entity should abide by its shareholders. Milton Friedman justified his claim by explaining that any executive in business are employees of the owners. Mind it, any executive in the business are employees of the owners and they are therefore required to deliver quality service to the employer first before any other party. Individuals employed in corporate entities are required to conduct their role in the business according to the expectations of the employer. Milton Friedman has stressed upon the importance of social responsibility and who has to take decision on social responsibility, whether executive or the shareholders. Who will decide that huge amount of money of the company should be spent on rural electrification in order to give electricity to large number of poor people in the village? Who will decide that companies' wealth should be spent on developing village, their amenities? It should be not done by the executive. It should be done by the shareholders. Shareholders are the owner. Shareholders are the responsible for the wealth which they have spent on buying shares. So Milton Friedman said about the social responsibility. The Friedman doctrine holds that decisions concerning social responsibility rest on the shoulders of the shareholders, not the executive of the company. He argued that an entity is not obligated to any social responsibility unless the shareholders decide to such an effect. Any social responsibility to the society requires resources and should therefore be arranged before they are executed. The use of a company's resources is subject to approval by the shareholders, who are the final decision makers as on important decisions such as the use of financial resources. Social responsibility activities such as the development of social amenities for the community are capital intensive and will affect the financial resources of the entity. Milton Friedman insisted that such responsibilities should not be forced on the company, and the final decision on whether or not to carry them out depends on the shareholders. So it is very interesting that we all know that Tata many other companies, huge amount of money is spent on electrification rural areas, development of houses for the poor areas, development of skill formation for the general masses. All these are done for greenery, plantation of trees, desert areas development. All these are part of social responsibility of the company. Milton Friedman said, well, it is well and good for the general people in the country, but decision must be taken by shareholders that which social responsibility a company should wear or which should not. Because we all know that in these cases, generally, such social responsibilities are given to the companies which are capital intensive. Huge amount of capital will be spent on that, and that will affect the profit of the company, because that is social work. There is no profit generated by this, and therefore there will be loss to the shareholders. So this decision must be taken by shareholders. Shareholders will decide that what social responsibility, which type of social responsibility his company is going to implement. They are not against the social responsibility, but who will be the decision maker? Decision maker, shareholders are the owner of the company, and executives, directors, they are employee of the company. They are not above the employee, they are employee of the company. And therefore, financial resources allocation to the social responsibility must be cleared, must be okay by the shareholders. That's all. Just after reading this topic, it is very important nowadays that share prices, fluctuations share prices, responsibility of share prices, social responsibility of share prices, these are frequently asked in the interview of IAS and other civil services. Like it, subscribe to it, and write in one line, comment, positive comment. That is the reward to the teacher. You know that I have been teaching for the last 50 years. And therefore, I am eyewitness of India before reform. India, which was zero opening foreign market. India, in which misfit economy developed by pirates, gangsters, smugglers, and doing black marketing because of the very restriction on the import of many important goods which are in daily life, like VCR, VCP, photographic cameras, and many cosmetics. So people buy through the gray market, green market. These are the two terms. Gray markets means without the permission of the company original, distributor may resell to the gray market. In the gray market, there is a low price of the product. Suppose VCR, VCP at that time, rare things in before last 40 years I'm talking about. If you have VCR, VCP in your house, you are considered to be a rich person. As today we say about the car. Now, motorcycle was rare. Few motorcycles were in the town. In 1952 in Bihar, there were only 3 motorcycles, and that owner was a military person of Danapur military camp. Such was the position. You can't buy everything. You have waiting period 15 years. LML Vespa, 15 years waiting for getting one scooter. That was the economy of Nehruvian era. That was the economy of Indira era. That was the economy of Rajiv era. You are living in the era of liberalization, privatization, globalization that was implemented by P.V. Narasimha Rao, great economist and politician, knowing several languages, and it was supported at that time as Finance Minister Manmohan Singh. 150% tariff was reduced to 40%. People surprised that what is this? Such fall in the severe fall in the tariff rate may affect the adversely economy, but the thing was different. There is tax buoyancy. If the rate is low, people do not go for a smuggler. People will directly buy paying tax. And after the reform, economic reform, tax reform, government expenditure reform, companies are producing goods and selling in the market. Foreign imports were liberalized. And all these taxes collected by the country, there is tax buoyancy. Tax buoyancy means over flooding of the tax revenue. This was the situation. Mrs. Indira Gandhi regime, in the case of taxation, you will read, there were 39 slabs in the income tax. 39 slabs means what? Right from 5,000 to several crores and more. And 39% tax, 39 slabs. That 39 slabs is reduced to 4 slabs nowadays. This has led to the generation of more tax revenue than at that time. At that time, it was very profitable to bribe tax collector and take the advantage of not paying the 39th slab. They come to the 10th slab, 8th slab. That was illegal, but that was done. Income tax return pages were so much thick that a simple person cannot fill it up. You have to go to the expert lawyers and other related to that. Nowadays, there is a subtle tax reform. Anyone can fill it up. And there is lower tax rate. This is called, in American economics, American economist has developed that if tax rate is lower down, it will increase the total tax revenue in the economy. By Laffer economist, name of the economist Laffer. That is why it is known as Laffer's curve, Laffer's thesis. And that tells us that reduce the high tax rate to middle one, the total tax revenue received will be very, very high. And that is called buoyancy of tax revenue that we have found in our country. Thank you for watching this. Must comment one line. It is your duty.